Aho. Ho'oponopono. Jabagwan. Namaste. House. Hello. Hi. Welcome home, my family. So nice to have you here with me now. Can you feel me? Do you understand my tone? My references? All the things I am not saying at this time? Are you capable of feeling? Or are you numb to experiencing your own feelings and thoughts? And are you more tuned in somewhere else? Where is it? In what state of consciousness, of mind, of being, of body, mind and spirit? Where is your happiest place? Perhaps you would like to have the intention of keeping your eyes closed and then taking a deep dive and having some more self-reference. Mindful of the external circumstances, however, attempting to remain in our center, in our truth, our own feelings, our own light. Our mind is our palace, our sanctuary, our place of peace, of rest, of happiness, imagination. Then from our imagination and our thoughts, then we create. Almost like a lucid dream, we are aware of what is unseen, what is unconscious, and we attempt to make do with the circumstances that we have been receiving from cause and effect, or multiple different laws of the universe, of the way that things be. Only by being can we come to see how it works for us and what feels good. And sometimes what feels good now may feel bad later. And from all of the bad feelings, all of the suffering, had come a great price of being able to understand and comfort and evolve and be of service from having awareness and experience and close intimacy with pain, suffering, experience. However, we do not have to ignore what things as a collective we have found to be true. This can be things that are not healthy for us, or things that can be witnessed. There are so many fortunate people who do not have any social media. And today on social media, in the public, there is a excessive amount of passing around bits of information that are hijacking into the thoughts of people that the computer or the algorithm of the machine, social media machine, it is attempting to put thoughts into people's heads, and we are aware of how powerful our thoughts are, like what happens from our thoughts, how we have this intimate magic machine of our minds. So if we are imagining a human being this feels like a law of nature. How are you imagining people? Are you imagining bad people? Are you allowing them to fulfill your fantasy? Are you, like, When it comes to vote for the justice of your soul, are you wishing for harm upon others? Does the downfall of another or having some type of important role and contribution to such suffering, does that bring you immense joy? Are you not understanding completely how we are one and what circumstances are at hand at this time? Are you capable of seeing your own self, how you deny yourself so many infinite truths? How many times have you intuitively known that you are to stay away from this person, this place, this thing, and to not invest your time and energy? And then you do, and you learn backwards like, It's important to trust yourselves, your feelings, the organism that is known as you, yourself, your cells, your feelings, your being, your entirety. Not neglecting the shadows or the things that our culture or society has attempted to categorize as such interfaces. At many times I have found it is beneficial to pay attention to where my shortcomings are and where there is room for growth. Because by paying attention to my own discomforts with myself, then I am left with a state of reference of self-improvement for accessing me towards my intention of my trajectory, where I am intending on going, where I am imagining myself backwards at the state or place of being that I am finding the most happiness and joy in that awareness. And there is samadhi. I'm there so many times, if not almost all of the time, when I am simply breathing and being, which is technically always. However, we are not always in that state of mind, of that awareness of, wow, this opportunity, this moment, this amount of energy and life that I am. We are so quick at times to diminish who we are and to label and categorize ourselves as being disharmonious or not being an appropriate fit for the planet named as Earth. Yet when we see all of the contraries and all of the differences and circumstances that make it difficult to be of service and at hand to this planet, is seeing what beneficiary thing you can add, and then having to surrender to that possibility and that potential of you being your full dimensional expression of self. For example, let's say we are complaining that there is too much trash and litter all in our nature trails. And instead of us just blaming and pointing fingers, imagine that we decided that we were going to do this, and we weren't going to film it and let everyone see and know what we are doing and raising awareness and trying to get pats on the back. Instead, it would be only with the intention of maintaining the environment, the planet, having a container that is full of fresh air. We have so much power as human beings to contribute to this land, to this garden, to this earth, to this realm. And still, we become so focused on the external, what is galaxies away, instead of taking our time to ground ourselves and to really be present, barefoot in the dirt, really connected, instead of feeling separate or that I am better than this dirt and that I am a bad person, or even though, yes, cleanliness does have its excessive value too. One is the law of preparation, another, the law of cause and effect. Lex Linus is a similar reference, if not identical. The law of retribution. I'm feeling such a hunger lately to put the windows down and just hear nature. Sometimes the cars can be so loud, and it's almost like they are a pollution to the planet. And we become so fixated on controlling our circumstances and where we're going and at what speed and when, and controlling the forces of nature. Yet not recognizing what every small hair and imprint of expression, what every vibration that we put out at the present moment was really cause and affecting. And the never-ending spiral of these expressions of being, as no matter is created nor destroyed, simply harmonics and resonances. My soul is utterly exhausted from the washing machine that it has been going through lately. I am hungry for rest, and I am noticing myself falling into habitual routines of escapism, attempting to not feel emotions, and attempting to not pay attention to select areas that may require attention the most. Like pretending like something doesn't hurt when it does. Or telling yourself to keep going when you know you much need the rest instead. Or perhaps you're giving guidance about something else, and then again you turn the steering wheel another way and look back at your past self and say, man, we could have done things differently. Maybe I would have felt better about this situation. It's excruciating to witness the self in this way. It's also a very beautiful thing to be able to witness the self in this way. However, at the same time, going through the extreme modifications of character, it can be overwhelming to attempt to get the self to where one feels perfect in the way that it is expressing and being, that it feels complete, that I am the full dimensional expression of myself, and that I feel safe and I am comfortable and I am full of joy and gratitude for being in every single moment, for this is a complete expression of my full dimensional being, and I am suppressing nothing, and I am in my totalitarian, I am in my totality, I am sovereign, I am free, I am a blessing to this planet. I am. I am in denial that there is any other truth than this infinite truth. I am honoring this presence that is so clearly here. I am grateful to be its instrument, to be channeling this peace, this joy, this pleasure, this fascination of mine. I can barely breathe and take it. It's so beautiful, it's so perfect, it's so unique and special and apart from everything witness you, to see me fall on my knees and cry at your feet, and show you how desperately I am hungry to be under your wing, at your feet, under your grace, under your mercy at all times. Oh, Father Sky, oh, Father Sky, oh, Father Sky. See me, hear me, feel me, know me. Breathe through me, assist me to be better at all times, for I forget who I am seeking to be as I come to know you and to understand these truths about myself that make me happier to tell that story about myself in that way instead of how I may be capable of telling the story at this time. For I am far from your perfection, far from your understanding, your grace, your peace, your mercy. It is humbling to be present with you, for I am seeing how weak and how forgetful and how unforgiving I can be within my own soul, my own container, how unmerciful, how forgetful, how savage, how rude, how uncomfortable. These have all been defense mechanisms or stories we tell the self that it will keep us safer when really it is only creating more disharmony amongst the harmonics that is humankind. It is so disgraceful for us to pretend and to pout. We are to be the full expression of ourselves without the lack thereof. Totality, the full expression, the full dimensional expression of self. No suppression, none. Being completely honest with yourself, not turning off a feeling. There can be play and space for growth and coming to understand the self. There can be. Many times this is the only way that there can ever become a sense of knowing. These lessons becoming reiterated at times can become exceptionally old songs. At times songs that one wishes to not continue, however at the same time there is so much glory in the transformation of the deep knowingness of extensive suffering that eventually can be transformed into total beauty. As if our stories of containing the light and the great things that we have acquired, as if they would have, how do you even say that they would not have as much of a value if we had not come from such extensive forgetting of the value of such experiences. Again, no language ever really serves. Sometimes attempting to have in-person conversations would be most appropriate, and at this time, the way the universe is going, a virtual reality will have to do its best at this time. So if you are being called to communicate and to share and express with select individuals upon this planet, it is best for you to follow suit with the organism that is you, to wear your suit, your human suit, and to follow through on being you. Ask the questions you are called to ask. Create the loop. You are a small seed. Your voice so important, so powerful. It gets me so choked up, so choked up. so many different states of consciousness, playing with the thoughts and ideas of, you know, balancing between completely showing all of your cards, like truly letting all of your emotions and feelings be seen and known and expressed. However, there are so many individuals who are of the opposite spectrum. Like, for example, let's say you are a complete loving human being, and meaning that you love all things. You are a complete loving being, okay? And then you know that this one thing is going to make this person really, really upset. Or you know this one thing is going to make this person really, really happy. Right? And then using this information to your benefit. And sometimes this can be where people know, like, this is really going to hurt them. So they make sure to hurt them exactly where they know where to hurt them, because they want to hurt them. Again, the voting for your soul. Who are you? Are you voting for there to be harm happening to all the people? Or are you voting for God to have mercy on all of us and to teach us how to be better? What are you praying for? Punishment or pleasure? Where is your truth? Who are you? Are you playing the role of God? Are you praying to have power and dominion over souls, over the way that things are being and expressing themselves? Can you see where things are being and expressing themselves when it is not in harmony or in the highest best interest of the whole, and still we are remaining silent and not doing our part and holding hands together and contributing? We are giving our resources to interfaces that aren't in alignment with morals that we support. We are choosing to look the other way instead of standing in the truth of our own soul of who we are, separate from everyone else. Individuality. So quick, you wish to erase yourself instead of witnessing all the glory that is you. Give yourself permission to be. You don't have to play games with me or yourself. We can be real, we can be honest, we can be true, instead of like lying to each one of you. Meaning every different version of yourself that comes on stage that is ever changing all the time. And imagine how many yous they are for every single person. And then find your greatest space. And this may be a space that you have not gained access to experiencing life within that container, in that resonance, in real life. Maybe only in your imagination. Allow yourself to enter those interfaces and to receive those subtle imprints into your experience where you can relax and you can be without, you know, trying to change everything. It's very complicated. It's rather easy though, because it is as if you are getting into balance and harmony, having your mind, your body, and your spirit in co-creation. That your spirit says, yeah, I want to be free and to create and to do this. And then your mind says, I am in need of doing this. And then my body's like automatically doing this other thing. And it's seeming that we are only in a state of healthiness and wholeness when we have all of those telling the same story and expressing the same story, instead of separating our mind from our body sensations, right, in our chest and our stomachs, our bodily sensations, versus like our spirit, like our internal part of our being, our spirit, our soul, our self, like how we feel with our eyes closed, where we are being guided at that time. There's so many different ways that people like to express that part of it, and that can be very difficult to reach every single human being when attempting to speak that kind of language on that sort of subject. I am calling in my soul family, my God family, those people who will understand and see and know what I'm talking about, and that most of all wish to just keep transferring back and forth these types of conversations, that they want to keep hearing what I'm saying, and then they have things to add to my bowl to teach me new things. Understanding what you are feeding the planet, what you are feeding your attention to, all of the energy. We are a giant network. We are so connected as one. It's no wonder why we feel so much pain and suffering. We are so sensitive to each other. If we could consciously tune ourselves into what's happening around the globe. Something else that's been coming up is just noticing what's going on with your gut. Notice, are you feeding yourself chemicals and then all of your organs are shutting down and are irritated from the high fructose corn syrup or the food coloring or whatever narrative that you're telling yourself that you're feeding yourself, you know? Have more. The symbol is like turning the lights on, like have more awareness, more enlightenment, or like have more seeing and knowing, ask more questions, seek more. It is hard to put that into words. You guys, I am so nervous. There is so much unknowingness on my path, and there is so much discomfort because there has been stories, there has been illusions and mirages and prayers and intentions, and then all of this unseen, unspoken, and spoken, you know, all the magic, all of that is happening and unfolding. I am speechless. I am literally speechless. There are almost tears of joy, yet also confusion and misery and discomfort, and it's very difficult to carry such weight. And I am in total surrender to attempt to be an instrument for this divine energy that is guiding me every single day. If I can be so kind to listen and show respect when I am trusting in this Holy Spirit and in this holy energy, I am feeling so much more grace and gratitude and peace. I have been recently guided to continue reading, and when I am reading this book, it is so clearly divinely orchestrated, especially again when I listen to the times that I am guided to read. And the ironic thing is the exact content that I'm reading and all the constant synchronicities, like the way that these words that I'm reading in this book is being reiterated to me through the only people that I allow to hear their voice and to have like some type of intimate connection. You understand? And so what limited resources I have to receive these messages, if there is something else, another human being or etc., to channel these same teachings that are happening behind closed doors in my studies, I'm not able to like make or invent this up, and that is also what makes it 10 times more magical. And there is no greater blessing than having this connection with the Creator. And I have recognized this over and over and over again, and many times I cry because there's just so much feeling. It's almost sorrow, like, and I'm sorry, like I have been so foolish, my Lord. I am so sorry. Oh my God, thank you. I am so foolish, for I did not see how beautiful and how splendid all this is. I have spent so many years of my life wasted creating thoughts that weren't true and living in suffering in my own mind when it was not before me in my current eye or view. I have been in past states of feeling and being instead of being in the present moment. I have been worried that this past experience will become a future experience, and to allow myself to feel exactly how I felt then. And it really doesn't get me anywhere other than back where I was in that state of consciousness. And I suppose on the positive side is the ability on how to cope, how to get out of this like paralyzed state of being that is how to exist, how to be. If you are in someone else's blind spot, be aware of where others may be blind to your existence, instead of only being on the offense of like, where am I ignored by other people's existence? It can be beneficial to know when you are not on someone's care or radar. And sometimes it's good to not lie to yourself and say, oh, they care, they love me so much. It is better to trust yourself if you know that you are to protect yourself from another community. Keep yourself aware of that truth. So many different things coming into my experience. I'm doing my best to just keep saying thank you for everything that's dropped inside my bowl, right? I'm the little puppy. That puppy love, all those different feelings and vulnerabilities of work and dharma and purpose and calling. At times I'm doing my best and I am feeling it is not my best, that I can do better. I'm constantly challenging At what point do I give up? Never give up on yourself. Keep going. Even if it's just breathing, that counts as you. Keep going. If you are guided to make a move, listen to yourself. Make sure you're doing that move out of love, out of happiness, out of joy, out of power to create your own moment, instead of doing the move out of fear, right? We can imagine two different scenarios of like intentions. Like, am I putting on perfume because it smells really good and I want to like smell it all the time? Is because I love it? Or am I putting on perfume because I'm afraid that they aren't going to like me, and then I'm going to put on this smell to manipulate people into liking me more? So understand, like, fear versus like out of love. And there's so much disharmony of people like expressing from fear instead of love, that there's just all of these shadows and unspoken things that are becoming more a part of each other's realities. Like, more and more people are having that same experience because like these things aren't really being discussed, or it's not really joyful. Like, right, most people don't want to be around people who are unhappy or that are going through dark experiences. They're so quick to misidentify and be like, oh, no, not me, Lord, let's look the other way, instead of seeing their power, their grace, why God has allowed this person to see this experience and to have this deep sense of knowing. Many times we don't always get the message or see the signals or the opportunity for us to be a blessing in other people's lives, just to be a witness, to hear, feel, know, and understand where the other person is coming from. How many times have you been that person and then you never let the person know, hey, me too? There's a lot of that going on too, which also is totally messing up the game of life at times, because so many people feel like they're alone and no one understands and they're isolated, when really it's not true. Just many people are wearing masks and are fronting what their experience is like instead of being authentic what their experience is like. burn off and channel all this energy. I'm doing my best to transmute every ounce of it. However, I am feeling so betrayed by those who acted like they were my family. My soul family. They try to be like that. You know? I am holding so much mercy, so much forgiveness, so much space. All I can do is surrender and say thanks. Thank you for showing me who you really are, before I have committed any more of myself to you and all that you have imitated that you would do and be for me. And it can be really crushing to shatter the story of those illusions that we once believed that these human beings were good people and they were loving, they were kind, they were family. I hear the voice of a friend of mine named Cody, who would call this the Legion of Betrayal, or Legion of Anguish, if not both of them. Thantos, you know, just the Legion. So many dark resonances. And the surprise attack by the scorpion tail is probably the most alarming part of the subject. Again, doing my best to just say thank you again. Thank you, God, for helping me see and know and understand when I have not had clarity all of this time, and I have been behaving in such ways that would not be the ways that I would have behaved had I had known all authentic truth of this being, of this community, of these individuals. So much jealousy, so much control, so much misunderstanding. It's frustrating. It's heartbreaking, really, because we are family and nothing will change that. Because I am family with everyone, everything, all the time. People forget we are one. Sometimes even I am forgetting. And I am simply, again, saying, thanks, God. I do not understand why all of this is occurring in my reality at this time, simultaneously. However, at the same time, thank you for making clear what my next move is to be. And I am trusting in the universe to make all that is wrong right. And I am aware of those individuals who do have a heart and do have awareness of their truth and their power and all that they are capable of being their full dimensional self. It's very complicated, and there is no less complex translation. I am grateful for those who didn't flash to me just fake colors, and that are true to their soul and truly committed to being with me for all that I am, and not just when I am in my diamond form. However, loving all of my authenticity, all that it takes, all of that pressure, all of those extremities to turn me into who I am. Thank you for those who understand. I am praying. Please take away this pain. Please take away this pain. Plain and simple. Please take away the pain. Please help me see. Please have more delicacy upon me. Please teach me. Please make this easy. Let the recovery be easy from this wound, this suffering. Please let these people stop wishing harm upon me and everyone else on our planet. Stop playing God and punishing the world. Stop casting stones. Remove the splinters from ye eyes. Please be loving and kind. Where art thou? My Lord, hear my call. Help us understand how to be good people. about ourselves. Let us learn the hard way if we must. However, please make it easy as possible. And let us have the choice if we make it difficult or if we make it easy by simply listening to your call once our prayer is answered. Amen, amen, ashe, ashe. Aho. It's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. It's not fair we can't see things eye to eye all the time. But not everyone can see and know God, or that not everyone is happy to be here. And there are some people that there is nothing you could do in their reality that would change them. You could give them $1 million and they would still be this life. They have no value for humanity, no value for the opportunity. So many people are wishing harm upon the president instead of sending the healing, the education, all of the resources that is necessary to assist this human being into being our baby. Teach it, love it, help it grow up, help it grow old, help it get back home to God, help it learn. And I imagine not just our president, but everyone. Can we treat everyone this way? Can we treat ourselves this way? I'm not sure. Let the actions speak. Let the actions speak. I'm here to touch souls, not just wallets. There are a few people that will laugh at that dark joke, okay? Money really means nothing. And only those of us who are willing to let it go and to put it into the hands of others truly know, like, here, this doesn't really much, but it'll buy some food, and sometimes food is nice. And sometimes a house is nice, and sometimes a clean litter box is nice, right? Whatever they're using their money on. Candles, whatever things that they think is nice about life, that is worth their energy, right? Having this kind of home or this kind of experience. However, money is not really what buys those things. It's like our service to the divine, our service to the world, and then it is given back to us in certain forms that may have been created by man as a system or a way of living. Like, we are in a society where greed is like idolized, where it's like worship, like, oh yeah, that person spent $3,000 on their purse. Wow, I really value this person. I really want to be around them all the time because they got their priorities straight of really holding their bag of stuff. I'm just being funny, okay? But seriously though, in many ways we are idolizing things like that. And I'm actually making that joke from like an experience that I had recently. I was in the Keys at a delicious restaurant, mind you, a very, very nice restaurant that happened to come along my path on accident, yet was so divinely orchestrated, right? And I had noticed that many of the clients, the women clients, had those bags. So I was like, okay, like, what's the deal with these bags? Is this like the ultimate accolade in rich people world? Like, what's this? And yes, Louis Vuittons. They are like $3,000 bags. And it had me thinking like, maybe my character should have this. You know, like that, those illusions, right? Those things, those fantasies, and those ideas. And then I had this experience that was a hologram to that, right? Which universe, again, divinely orchestrated this experience. So I had gone out to another restaurant that I go to all the time that is an amazing place to get crab legs. And I had, for like the first time in a long time, I almost want to say if ever there, however, it might be the second time that I had an alcoholic beverage there. And I was asked for my ID, right? And then nonchalantly, they switched to a comment about my bag. Oh, I like your bag. And it felt like this vibration of like acknowledging my bag as looking like a young little teenager's backpack or something. Like I need to check that. And it was a little baby JanSport that's pink and had a stuffed animal possum wrapped around it, okay? And I couldn't help but giggle and refer back to the Louis Vuitton bag experience and just think of like all the synchronicities of just these brainwashings. Like, do you think that there would be an like sizing me up judgment, right, of like my age and authenticity if I had expressed myself in a more mature way? And people see money as evolution too. Like, people have evolved, like, if you have these expensive things. However, there has been like a man-made society culture of money that has made up this piece of paper, holds value and accolade more than food or more than fresh air. Same thing with like cigarettes, right? Like, people that worship and adore their cigarettes, right? They've been conditioned to think that smoking is cool. Smoking serves them in some shape or form. It brings temporary relief. Can we be like, so does exercise? We have so many stories why we can't exercise, or why we can't do this, or I won't do this. Many times we have given up on life and we aren't even aware that we have done this. And there are many ways that we show Father Sky, Mother Earth, God, angels, with our actions, with our vibrations, that we are not happy here. We are to understand that this earth is not a punishment. That we are here as a gift, as a blessing to ourselves, and for us to be that blessing to others as it was intended for us to be our full dimensional self. I'm apologetic to those that this is crushing to receive this message at this time, meaning those that it makes it cry because it is too true to heart. I am apologetic to those I strike that nerve to. However, know that Divine Source loves you very, very much and felt it was appropriate for you to hear this message at this exact time, so that way you could rise into power and be your authentic self and continue the path and purpose that had brought you to come to have this experience that you are calling Earth, and being a part of what you call humankind. Take your time and be patient. Be aware of what you are creating with your thoughts. Use your thoughts for good. Same thing with your food. Understand what your food is giving back to you. Is it punishing your organs? Is it difficult for your body to break down? Are you processing enough sugar? Do you have too much sodium? And in what ways are you lying to yourself? In what ways are you getting plenty of sodium, but you're telling yourself that you're not, and you don't really have enough magnesium, or you don't really have enough iodine, etc., etc., etc. There's many different forms of expression of coming to know and be yourself. However, only through experimentation can this really be known completely. Thank you so much for listening to my rambling. These are just many of my private thoughts that I have personally attained in this time, and this will be beneficial for me to look back on when I am aging. However, I am also attempting to surrender and be an instrument. So again, if you are finding that I am touching your soul, please know that it is not me, that there is a divine presence and energy working through me, some call the Great Spirit. Please know that that is the most important message of today. Know that you constantly have this connection as long as you allow yourself to be and to express your complete truth, and not be afraid to ask for help in your soul, to really mean it. Like, I accept help, I do not know, I cannot see, I surrender to anything that you can show me. I'm seeing so much roadkill. It is bothering me. I'm like, we can do better, humanity, come on. Let us not take the sun for granted or the rain for granted. Let us not take the plants for granted. Let us not take ourselves for granted. Let us see what we can do right now. How many seeds can you plant today? How many plants can you nurture and take care of and talk